Hi everyone, we are
La
LaChiMoLaLa, and we are here to recap the bonus episodes of In the Soup season 2 for BTS. This was all the 10-minute little episodes of behind the scenes, plus they had a little special recap with all the members at the end. And we're just going to go through it step by step, starting with episode 1.
Oh man. So, can I say that when we watched In the Soup, I was like, man, their gym looks nice. Like they had a punching bag, they had a sandbag, they had a power rack or aka squat rack, whatever you want to call it. They had dumbbells, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then we saw little snippets of them working out, and I was like, man, this sucks.
I feel like we only saw each person work out once, right?
Yeah.
Like we saw Suga once and Jimin once
Yeah.
and JK and
Right.
RM.
Yeah. So I think RM we saw like once in the beginning in episode 1, and then probably one more time with him, but like not as long as episode 1.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, this sucks. Like I want to see cuz they are all in great shape. And honestly, you can't have that kind of muscle, just by doing nothing. So I mean, they're all pretty toned up, and we all know that they've been doing strength training, especially RM, because that is one of the things that he's very vocal about, especially during COVID, because it helps him with his mental wellness, so which I totally get because if you follow our channel, I always talk about working out. And a lot of that has to do with mental wellness for me too. So it keeps me very first it keeps me humble, and then it's just it's that 1 hour that you dedicate for yourself, sometimes two. But yeah, so and then behind the scenes we saw a lot of them being active, whether it be basketball, working out in the gym, tennis. So we saw all sorts of extracurricular type of like sport, like in behind the scenes, which I
Yeah.
totally get because it's not everyone's cup of tea seeing someone like watching Suga squat like
Although that
100
was your favorite
pounds.
part of that episode.
That is my favorite episode. Yeah. So for episode 1, so it starts off with the guys really excited, of course, like being at this new place for a few days, and so they're exploring, and the guys made caused a whole ruckus about the gym,
Yes, they
because
did. Oh my gosh, they were so excited.
yeah, they were so stoked about it. Like they got whatever they wanted, which they probably didn't think that they would. But yeah, like even JK got what he wanted. He wanted this like machine where it counts like your punches and stuff like that, because if you're army, you would know that JK loves boxing. That's like one of his favorite things to do, And so he got that machine. And I was like, that machine probably cost like thousands,
His face when he saw it, and then he was with Jimin and V, and he had to explain to them what it was, and he was just like, yes, I wanted this. This was what I asked for. He was so thrilled.
Yeah, like he was so happy about it. And then JK, of course, he came over to test out the power rack, which is same thing as squat rack. And it was that rack where they keep like doing like chin-ups or pull-ups from there. And so JK did a couple of pull-ups, and then of course the classic Jimin fashion, he was like in awe of like watching him do like a chin up, which is ridiculous because Jimin knows how to do pull ups and chin ups. But then at the same time, they started goofing around, So he started picking JK up from like his legs and going up and down and being like, okay, three, okay, three more, two more. And it wasn't even like a full extension of going up and down, you
No.
know, like a pull up. It was just like
He
a
was
little bit
suddenly a
later.
personal trainer,
Yeah.
just yelling out commands at him. And didn't he yell so much that Suga came in? He's like, "What's in here? What are you
Yes.
guys yelling about?"
Yes. Exactly. And it's funny because like he wound up being the first person out because it was V, JK, and Jimin that initially was scoping out the gym and stuff like that. And then Suga came in afterwards to see what all the yelling was about, you know?
And he was like, "All right, cool, out of
Yeah,
here."
so Jimin had left because he felt super hungry.
Mhm.
And then you have V, like JK wound up like testing out like that, of course, that punching bag, and then the sandbag later, which is that big sandbag that you would see like boxers like hitting and kicking and stuff like that too. But yeah, so JK tested it out first, and of course he looks like a pro. He pivots and
Right?
stuff like that. And I'm like,
Oh my gosh, he like put on those like little gloves and everything, and like I
yeah.
don't know, he definitely looked like a pro.
Yeah. And then you have V like asking JK, I'm like, is this how you put it? Is this how you put it on? And JK's like, yes, you know. And so by that time, I think everyone had left, and I think V was still like testing out the purple punching bag machine. And so he's punching, and he looked super cool doing it, by the way. But then, of course, he found a shortcut. So,
Typical V found a loophole and exploited it to the fullest.
yeah. So instead of punching it, he just grabbed it and just shook it, and it still counted.
And he
the
was only watching the counter to see how good he could do.
Yeah.
It wasn't about working out for him. It was about if he could get as many points as JK.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
He got a pretty high score.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah, and so then we got another scene about the dishwasher. So Suga asked the guys because like they had already cooked their meal and whatnot, and so things needed to be clean. And in a typical BTS fashion, everyone always pitches in to, you know, clean up the mess, or, you know, volunteers or whatnot. And so Suga turns around and says, do you guys know how to use the dishwasher? Which is a funny question, you would think, you know, like, why is he? Of course, everyone knows how to use it.
I was totally like shocked that he even asked that. I thought he was being like sarcastic.
Yeah. And I will explain to you guys why that is a normal question among us Asians. So this is a relatable thing, but normally, like for my parents, they use dishwashers like storage. They use
And
it
when you
as
say storage, like for dishes or for pots or
yeah, like pots, dishes, forks, chopsticks.
it's just
Yeah.
another place to put stuff.
Yeah. So it's basically like a cabinet, a pantry, or something, you know, like a storage space. And I thought that was like the total norm, which came out to be the case because when I would go over to like my friends' houses and stuff like that, like their parents did the same thing. Like they didn't use a dishwasher to the fullest extent. Like,
It's a pretty expensive cabinet.
yes. Mhm. Yeah, so it never ran, like it's just storage space. So for people who are not familiar with that, I mean, it's like just a weird question to ask. It's like, of course you know how to stack plates. Why
Yeah.
not? You know?
It was funny
But
because they showed that they had all asked for a dishwasher. They were like, the worst part is cleaning up. We need a dishwasher. But I didn't realize that meant none of them had ever used one.
yeah.
I guess that's the other reason I was like, what? Because you asked for it. Like, I don't know. I was just so surprised that Suga had to give them a tutorial, like including soap goes here.
Yeah, and so I think JHope was one of the few guys too that knew how to like use the dishwasher too, because he wound up stacking things like really nicely. So, which
I
is
loved how they made an assembly line. It was like JK was rinsing, then he passed it to V, and then V would pass it to JHope, and JHope would put it in. Like it was like do. It was so hilarious.
yeah, and then JHope used that famous quote, teamwork makes the dream work, So I was like, yes.
I love that every time V had to hand him something, he was like, Hyung, Hyung, Hyung. Like he knows it's coming. You're not done with the dishes. But every time he was like, here comes, here comes, here comes, here it is, here's another one, here's more. Which for some reason I found hilarious. Like he was like a toddler.
Yeah, it was super cute though. Like I just loved how quickly that they cleaned everything.
And they were like so impressed. Both JK and V like came over to see how JHope had done it and was like, ooh, wow, cool. Like it was like some fancy science experiment.
Yeah,
It was adorable.
yeah, love that. And then I think in that same moment too, right? I think Suga wanted to like make dessert like for everyone, of
Oh
course.
yeah, they were finally cleaning up the mess he made, and he was like, "Should I cook something else?" Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, and so I think it was dessert this time around, and he's like, okay, so what kind of ice cream do you guys want? Do you guys want chocolate, vanilla? And the list went on, and then Jin was like, chocolate, and so I think Suga kind of ignored him for a second, and
Yep. Sugar
then
was like cookies and cream,
yes, cookies and cream.
and he was like chocolate, and he's like cookies and cream. He was totally being that guy. Oh, so
Yeah.
adorable. Anytime they're in the kitchen, I mean, I could watch a BTS cooking show for the rest of my life. And they
Mhm.
don't even have to make anything good. I would still watch. It could
I
be
would.
a hot mess and I would enjoy it.
Yeah, it's like fun either way. It's
Yeah.
like you could be perfect or you could be a hot mess.
And I'd still watch.
I mean, let's be real. Like RM, when, yeah. Need I say
I
more?
would watch an RM cooking show, and we all know he can't cook.
Yeah. Exactly.
He burns himself making ramen.
I know. Like, can't even pour it right into the bowl. Like, he's afraid of like boiling water splashing at him. So,
Right? And he always gets something like on his clothing.
yes.
Also me. I do that too, but you know what? At least I cook something yummy, so it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, and so there were a couple more clips to episode one, and we got to see more of Bam in the behind the scenes. And so this time it was just Jimin and JK in Bam. And so JK was being a proud doggy dad or dad. Why do I always get this? Dog dad, dad dog, dad dog.
I don't know what it is. I don't have a dog.
Dog dad, dog dad.
Dog dad, not
dog
dog.
dad,
Not dad
right.
dog. Dad dog is definitely not right.
Dog dad. There you go.
Mm.
And so he pretty much was showing Jimin Bam's tricks, like how to sit, lay down. And then the moment that he did like psh, like this, like
Yeah, I couldn't really tell what he was doing. It seemed like he was like fake spray can painting him.
yeah, yeah. And every single time they did that, like Bam just got really excited and just jumped up. And it
So
was like
cute.
the cutest thing, So Jimin,
And it seemed like he almost knocked Jimin over. Like Jimin was not expecting it. He got the full weight of like Bam, like lunging at him. But it was a cute lunge. It was more like he was going in for a hug. It wasn't aggressive.
yeah,
It was so adorable.
yeah, yeah. And Jimin loved it because he kept doing it, like.
Even though Bam probably weighs as much as him. Like Bam's a solid dog.
He's
so he's heavy.
Yeah,
he jumps at you, you might go down.
Yeah, exactly. If you, especially when you're not prepared for it, and
you're not braced.
Yeah, and so that was super cute. So, so that was that on that scene, and then like the last or another scene too, we got to see Jimin work out more. And so he did a movement called the thruster, and which is basically a squat to a press. I think one rep I saw, like he didn't do a full lockout meaning like this. It was kind of like this a little bit. For his thruster. Not that I noticed or anything. But
I was gonna say trainer Tammy on the case. That was a fake out. Do it again.
exactly. Come on. Full extension. So and in this part, like he pretty much screamed to Jin, "Hey, do you want to work out?" And Jin's response is,
heck no. He was like, no way. No way. And he was right next door in the PC computer room and he was gaming. He was like, no, pass. I'm on vacation. Like to Jin, working out is work. Literally.
yeah.
It's for work. I'm on vacation. Screw you.
Yeah, pretty much. That was his mentality. And you know what was funny is that in I think in like the July interviews on the V Lives, he's like, yeah, when I go into the office, that's when I would work out. And so he was really proud of himself, though. He's like, yeah, I've been to the office a lot lately. And so I've been working out a lot. Can you guys tell that I worked out? And all the other guys would be like, yeah, you've been really good about working out. But yeah, doing In the Soop, that's a big no.
He's like, I'm on vacation. Does that sound fun? No, I'm not doing that. Like, I kind of love that about Jin, though. He's so upfront about it. He's just like, working out is not something, he's like, it's something I have to do. It's not something I want to do. Mm-hmm. Whereas I feel like for people like you or JK, it gives you these extra endorphins that make your day.
Oh, yeah.
But for some of us, it's literally torture. And I wish I was a pop idol because I would look a lot better because I would be forced to work out every day.
Oh, stop.
But if someone would pay for it, I'm in. If anyone wants to sponsor me working out, let me know. Comments. Yeah. Otherwise, forget about it. I'm on vacation. But yeah, I thought Jin was so funny, and Jimin just started laughing. He was like he knew Jin would be like, no. He was not surprised by that answer.
Mm-hmm. He knew that very well. So, but yeah, that was pretty much episode 1, and yeah, it was fun watching the behind the scenes clips.
Yeah. I love that they gave us more, even though they gave us an hour and a half for every episode. Like, yeah, we'll take 15 minutes more, 10 minutes more, give it.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, so that pretty much ends episode 1. So if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And we are
LaChiMoLaLa.
And we will see you for episode 2 behind the scenes next time.
Annyeong.